Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I'm Power Symphonic and I am currently recovering with my back thanks to Bloodstock open air. I am aching and I've had a back problem since the final day of coming home from Bloodstock, but we'll get to that when I get to it. And so basically it started Tuesday just gone. Last week. It's now Tuesday. I'm finally home from the missus and I'm chilling out and relaxing, and I'm dreading work tomorrow, but it started Tuesday, finished work, got home, showered, didn't have time for food, so I had I think it was a burger box or something when I was with the missus, which was cool. But I got the train to Shrewsbury, and then from Shrewsbury I was going to get a train to Crewe, and then from Crewe to Uttoxeter. Got to Shrewsbury, the line between, I think it was Cardiff and Shrewsbury, or was it Swansea and Shrewsbury, all trains were cancelled. There was something with the line, I don't know if it was broke or something, but the lot was cancelled. And my next train was like 9 something, and it said there was a replacement coach in like 2 hours or something like that, and just literally couldn't risk it. So I got the train back to Wellington, and the missus, bless her, sorted an Uber out, and I got the Uber all the way to the house, which was cool. So I managed to get there, but I got there actually, I beat the train and got there earlier, which was awesome. So yeah, I got an Uber there. Bloke chewed me ear off throughout the whole journey, just about everything, asking me about my job, where I'm off to and all that sort of stuff, which friendly conversation, although a couple of times it just felt like saying, look, can you zip it, because I was just tired and I just wanted to relax. But we got up the Wednesday morning, we had breakfast, and then we drove to Bloodstock open air and put our tents up, met my friend Stewie, put the tents up. We was in Asgard, I believe it was Asgard, so I'd never camped in that one, but I'd happily camp in there again because it was nice, lovely. It was something that I'd happily do. And we didn't camp right near the entrance to get in Asgard. We camped like a little bit down, but I know it was a little bit of a walk to the toilet, not much of a walk, but a little bit. But where we camped was awesome, so it was easier for both. But set the tent up, blasted out some heavy music, relaxed, Stewie as he does with his beers and his dad jokes, and we had a great time. I went to the Midgard because they were showing some movies. They were meant to be showing The Lost Boys and Shaun of the Dead. It was Shaun of the Dead. No, pardon me. It was Shaun of the Dead first, and then The Lost Boys second. I don't mind Shaun of the Dead. I've seen it a couple of times. It's alright. It's nothing to shout about, but I know some people rave on about that movie, saying Shaun of the Dead is probably one of the best movies ever. But it's alright. It's just after so many watches, you're like, I've seen it that many times, know the ins and outs and all that sort of stuff. Can have a laugh at it, but it's not something I'd probably watch over and over and over. Every now and again if it's on. So caught a bit of that. Went back to the tent and thought, I'm going to miss The Lost Boys purely because that was on really late and I was knackered from work, so I just crashed. Thursday I spent the best part of the day just chilling out, and then on the evening, I believe it was 5 p.m, the main gates opened to the arena, and we went into the arena, and I went straight away to the merch because everybody ran towards that merch stall. I was having a look around the metal market, but I seen the queue for the merch stall, the official merch. I could not believe it. I didn't go there on the Thursday. I could not believe that queue. But I went around that metal market, picked up a few things, and then there were so many bands on. But I started off with the band Gnome. A load of people mentioned, you must see Gnome, they're fun live band, they're brilliant. And they've all got Gnome hats on, and there was people in the crowd, and I made a few comments like they've got no Gnome to go to and all of that sort of epic stuff. They were fun live, I must admit. I did enjoy them live, but they're not really my cup of tea or something that I overly listen to, because I don't mind some of the screaming and all that sort of stuff, but when it comes to like deathcore, which I don't listen to deathcore, don't listen to hardcore or noise or something like that. And when it comes to metalcore, I like it in extreme moderation. So Trivium is one of them, and then 1 or 2 songs of Parkway Drive I don't mind, and then there is Killswitch Engage, which I don't listen to as much as some bands, but I do like that ones. But other than that, not that really fussed about metalcore. It's just not really something that I overly listen to. And then there was Orpha Metal. I am bloody happy I got to see that band. That was a band that I really, really wanted to see, and I thought I must see this band live. I am super happy. I finally got to see them live. I am over the moon. Me and Stewie rocked out to Orpha Metal. We loved every moment of it. And yes, band I'm so happy I got to see live. Next was Me and That Man, which is Nurgle from Behemoth, and it was his other project, and I believe it's like country mixed with rock and roll and various other stuff. I caught a bit of their set, but then we went back to the tent because I was absolutely done in and I was just aching and everything. But from where we were camped in Midgard, I listened to the whole of the rest of the set because you could hear the set from the Sophie tent. So I listened to the whole set, and that was good with some of the bands that were the last bands on at that. I could go back the Sophie stage, I could go back to the tent and I could literally chill out and relax, but I'm having to lean back because of my back. But then we started Friday with the bands. The first band I actually seen on the Friday was Lockhorns, and was on the, I believe it was the Sophie tent, and they are a progressive metal band, prog metal. I listened to them, wasn't too bad. I could not get on with the vocals because I know there's prog metal, but then there's different types of prog metal. They actually didn't say what type of prog metal it just said prog metal, and they were more like I don't know if it was the deathcore vocals, if it was noise vocals or something like that. I just couldn't get on with the vocals because I'm a certain styles of metal. It's just not my cup of tea. I've tried deathcore, I've tried millions of bands, I've tried to get into that literally several times. I keep trying and I just cannot get into it, but they didn't appeal to me. The rest of the band was absolutely awesome, just the vocals didn't grab my attention. Then there was Funa Wolf on the New Blood stage. They're a folk metal band. I was like, oh, these are cool. These are pretty good. I made a note of them. I thought they're a band I am definitely going to dip into and check out, and I cannot wait. I bought some folk metal and some other stuff as I've got down there with my merch haul. So I'm going to be doing a separate video on that, and it's my Bloodstock merch haul. So if you want to check that out, it'll be on my YouTube channel. Then there was Flotsam and Jetsam. I didn't catch the entire set of Flotsam and Jetsam purely because I'd seen Funa Wolf, and Flotsam and Jetsam was on the main stage. So after Funa Wolf, I made it to the main stage, which is near enough next to it, so I could hear them as I was walking on, and missed the first 5 minutes of the band. And then I missed the last so many minutes because I watched a band called Desolator. I believe they were a death metal band, and that was on the EMP stage, and they were good. Then I went to see a band called Ogun. I wasn't sure about quite what the genre was, but I thought they were really good. Then my band as a festival that was on at the New Blood stage, and they're a Polish speed metal band called Rascal. Oh my god, they were absolutely fantastic, flawless. I could not praise that band so much. If you like Halloween, Gamma Ray, and you like your speed and that sort of stuff, Solicitor and band stuff like that, they're not, oh my god, I would definitely give them a listen. They're absolutely incredible. I want to see if I can post any of their stuff in the comments, in the description, once I've actually done this video. Then there was Ewar, I think that was pronounced it. That was on the Sophie stage. Instrumental folk metal. There was no vocals. I really enjoyed them. A guy came past me halfway through the set and said, "What the bloody hell is this? It sounds like dishwasher music." He said, "Why are they having stuff like this as a festival? It's meant to be a festival, and you got shit like this on at the festival." And I bit my lip because I was going to say to him, "Well, if you don't like it, just go to a different stage instead of griping." Go bugger off. But I kept myself, my opinion to myself, because I thought I can't be arsed arguing with an idiot. Then I seen the rest of Lacuna Coil, and I went to Lacuna Coil purely because after Lacuna Coil on the Friday, they announced a load of bands for next year, and there is 6 bands on that bill. That 3 of them, yes, and 3 of them I wouldn't mind catching. There is Judas Priest, which are headlining, I believe, on the Sunday, which definitely. There's a band called Heavy Saurus, where it's the all cosplay as dinosaurs, and they do a mixture of heavy metal. But the thing is with them, there's two different ones. There's a power slash heavy metal band called that, and then there is one from, I can't remember if they're German or something, and all they do is covers. So they'll do Europe, Saxon, Judas Priest, Def Leppard, Motorhead, Ozzy, Sabbath, that sort of stuff. Then I went back on the main stage and I watched Emperor. I've actually seen them at Bloodstock before. They are chef's kiss, absolutely fantastic band. Then there was Nail Bomb in the Sophie tent. I could physically not get in there purely because of how packed it was. So I was outside and I caught part of the set, and then I went back to the tent purely because my back was not doing good and I thought I need to rest. But it's Max Cavalera's band, so it's his other band, because he was part of Sepultura and then Soulfly, and then he done Nail Bomb, and I could listen to him from the camp and they were absolutely brilliant. It's a shame I couldn't fully get to see him, but I know Bloodstock Open Air, they do once every year after the festival, so many months, a load of bands that post their set onto YouTube, so I'll be checking that out and watching it. Then there was Trivium, which were the headliners, which brilliant. As I said, I like my metalcore in moderation, but their set was absolutely fantastic. They brought out Rob Flynn from Machine Head, some bands from, I think it was Malevolence and some other bands, and they put on a great set. Then there was Cataclysm on the Sophie stage. I didn't watch them purely because I was absolutely knackered and aching and everything. It's getting old, I'm 40, so I had to be very selective. So at least I got back to the tent and I listened to their whole set and was well impressed. And I thought I need to catch them at some point. Saturday, there was a hell of a lot of bands. I had Felion, Exorcism. I'd never heard of them two bands, but I checked them out and thought them two on my list to check out, so I'd definitely give them a go. Warbringer, I've actually unboxed some of their stuff on my YouTube channel and I've got a vinyl, and I played quite a few songs off that vinyl. They're US, I believe it's US thrash metal, because they said they were from US or Canada or something. I really enjoyed them and I thought, happy I got to see them live. Creeper, that was a band that I went in thinking I may not like them purely because of the name, but they impressed me. Thought I need to definitely give those a listen. I went to see in the Sophie tent after was Phoenix Lake. I seen them a couple of years ago. They was opening the Sophie stage and they were brilliant. I caught 80% of their set purely because I wanted to head over to the New Blood stage, which I zoomed over there. Oh, pardon me, with my back. I zoomed over to watch Fortune Teller. They're an up-and-coming power metal band. Female vocal power metal band, and they were absolutely insane live. I'm happy I got to see them, and I'm definitely going to be checking more out of them. I believe they've only released an EP. And then after that, me and my good friend Stewie got to the main stage where we seen the Mighty Fear Factory doing the entire demanufacturing full with an encore of Lynchpin. That was a dream come true, finally getting to see them live. I wasn't going to miss them for the world. And yeah, so the whole of demanufacture, it was just in order and it was absolutely brilliant. The one point, Dino Cazares, I think that's the guitarist with the dark hair, the lead guitarist, was it the original? He came on and he was like, right, this next song is off the Mortal Kombat soundtrack. And I shouted, yes, Zero Signal. I was in heaven. Zero Signal is a brilliant song. It's probably one of the best songs ever written. That album is a masterpiece. The first 6 songs is just banger after banger, and then the rest of the album, some people would say it's album filler, but no, I really love it, and I loved the entire set. And then obviously Lynchpin, or me and Stewie's sung our hearts out to that, and I believe he recorded some footage of me and him singing to it, so I'm going to see if we send it me, and if it's any good, I'll be posting that on my YouTube shorts. I've recorded a bit of footage of some bands, and I'll be on my YouTube shorts when I get the chance of Bloodstock Open Air if you want to check my adventures. After Fear Factory, I got back to the tent because Arrested Ministry were playing. Now, I've listened to them before. They're alright. They're not bad. They're not something I shout about. They're not something I'm really fussed about going and fully dipping in and everything. So I went back to the tent, was in the toilet, came out, they started. I heard them play Burning Inside. I know Static X have done a cover, but I heard the original. I believe Ministry's the original. They were good, what I heard from the tent. They sound really good live, and I thought I might catch them at some point, but I just needed to rest and I needed to be careful with my aching body. But then there was Crown Solace, there was a good band, Machine Head were headliners. Rob Flynn has still got it after all that years, and he's absolutely fantastic. I loved it. My friend Stewie said I need to go for a second, which I thought okay then, and he came back with a pizza, and he shared a pizza with everybody. But some guy come across, oh all right, mate, are you sharing pizza? And he was like, no, I'm only sharing it with my friend. I think the guy was trying to get free pizza off us, but Stewie, no. Oh, my back is a bloody killer. And then Static X were headlining the Sophie tent after they were closing the Saturday. It was banger after banger. I heard all the songs I wanted to hear. I was going in there thinking that they're just going to play most of the new stuff with the new singer or stuff. They had a nice tribute to Wayne Static, which nearly brought a tear to my eye because he's a legend. But yeah, Burning Inside, Cold, Black and White, Wisconsin Death Trip, a lot of stuff off that. There was loads, all their big hits and everything. I was impressed from start to finish. They are an incredible band. I'd happily go and see them when they come over and tour again. So I finally got to see them. Then we come to the Sunday, which was the last day of the festival, which was, I was aching and knackered. Didn't have much sleep. It was cold in the middle of the night, and I put 2 pairs of socks on and covered up and everything. I was still cold for some reason. But Ghost of Atlantis was the first band that was on. I wanted to catch them live. Really enjoyed them. Rivers of Nile. I finally got to see them live. I've got a couple of their CDs, and I thought, what I've heard, I would love to see these live. Finally got to see them. Then there was Fire Swans. They're German folk. Funny thing is, I pre-ordered one of their albums on Amazon, and it's on my YouTube channel. I've already pre-ordered the new album, but I pre-ordered it, gave it a listen, loved it. I thought it was their debut studio album till I went on, Wiki Metal Encyclopedia and had a look. I can't believe they've got 10 plus albums out. They've been going quite a while. 99% singing in German, but they did a song, a cover, and it's that Maya He, Maya Ha. I can't remember who that is, but they'd done that, and then when they were bowing to the crowd and it finished, you heard their cover of Gangnam Style, which was absolutely brilliant. But yeah, they're an absolutely fantastic band. Then it was Matcare, I think that's how you pronounce it, on the stage, the EMP. That was one of my good personal friends, Amy from the Keeses, who runs Power Metal Crush Fest. They were insane live, and I loved them. There was Bubbles and everything. We made some jokes about Ozzy from the Iceborns when he's like, Bubbles, I'm the Prince of fucking Darkness, I don't have bubbles. And we're laughing and everything. Then it was Mastodon on the main stage. Sadly, I didn't see him. Sadly, I could not see the band live. My body was like, nope, you're not doing anything. And I went back to the tent. That was the second time they've done Bloodstock where I physically had to miss them. But from my tent, I heard 90% of their set list. And then some band came on the Sophie, which obviously I couldn't listen to the rest and heard the Sophie band. But my body was like, no, John. So I had no choice. I had to go back. I'm still gutted, but I've seen them. First time was in Wolverhampton, and I seen them at when I went to download for the day, and they were great. And then obviously I've missed it to Bloodstock, which was annoying. I know my good friend Martin, Mastodon Mart, he was there, and he was probably front row enjoying himself, which was awesome. Then there was 3 Inches of Blood, which are a US heavy / it says heavy / power metal, but they was on the Sophie stage, and they were absolutely fantastic. After that, I made my way to the main stage, and I thought, I don't know how long I'm literally going to last, because Gajir was on, and I thought, I don't know if my body's going to allow it. I sat down on the floor, and my body was just like, I tried to seat, and my body was just like, no. But I managed to sit through it. Before they was on, Stewie said, let's meet before, because I was on at 9:10 or something, and he said, let's meet at the mac and cheese stall. I waited, and he wasn't there, and I thought maybe he just decided to stay at the tent, which was fine. But he came in, and just before he came in and come behind me, and blobby made me jump out my skin. But the thing is, before Gajira set, which was fantastic, loads of pictures and stuff came on the screen of Ozzy, and they were playing No More Tears, and trying to think about it now, yeah, I struggled. I broke down. I literally broke down in tears and bawled my eyes out. And Stewie actually came at the right moment. He put his arms around me and gave me a hug and said, "Are you okay?" And I said no. I said I'm still struggling to come to terms with Ozzy snuffing it. And I said, "Oh, I'm still struggling." And I said, "Yeah, thinking about it." Then I heard during the weekend I'd seen some stuff on the screen about Ozzy and it nearly made me cry. And I said to him, "Sorry about that." And he said, "Don't ever apologise for showing your emotions," because he said it's one of them. He said he was okay, but there was a guy there when I was crying and he turned around and sniggered or something. And he was with a load of friends and was having a lot of fun, so I wasn't sure if it was just he was sniggering with his friends. But if he turned around and he was sniggering at me for crying because of the Aussie, then I would have gave him the finger and says, "I'm not being funny, dude, but what an awful human being you are." And I would have said, "You deserve a good smack." Because you know, taking a piss like that, if it was, probably wasn't, but if it was, with me bawling my eyes out and getting emotional over Aussie, which I'm trying not to think about it now because probably have me in tears again. But that was a dick move if it was. If it wasn't, fair enough if he was laughing with his friends. But if it wasn't me, because me, you know, with Aussie, then that was a dick move, dude. And you were complete and utter. I don't know if YouTube will allow this, but you're complete and utter cunt. I know, can't say that because, you know, they're useful, but he wasn't. But then after that, Gajira, I was like, I want to see Obituary. Maybe I can find somewhere to sit down. I couldn't, and my back was like, no. So I thought, I'm just going to have to go back to the tent. And I was like, I need to go back to the tent. And I listened to their set at the tent and I chilled out. And I caught all their set, listened to it, and they were great. And I thought, I think I've seen them before, Bloodstock, and watched their set. So this one I sat it out and listened to it. Gutted with some of the bands, but I had to literally make a note. It's weird because some of the bands, when they're headlining and they're the very last band on the Sophie stage, like Satiric, and when they played, I really wanted to see them live and I couldn't. I had to go back to the tent and I could not hear them from the tent the last time. I think it was last year, so I was gutted. But it's one of them. I'll catch them at some point. But yeah, I'm getting old. I'm 40. I'm falling to pieces. You know what old men are like. My friend Stu had to miss out quite a load of bands because he had to rest. Because of his back, and he had to miss going around the market a few times because obviously old age creeps upon you. But that was my festival experience. And then Monday I literally got up as normal because I packed a few things on the Sunday when I was back at the tent doing some bands resting. I packed a few things and then we got up the Sunday, packed everything up. I picked up a gazebo which the missus bought and put it in a trolley. She didn't use it all weekend, just never got used, but it would probably be next year. But packed everything up, put the gazebo in the trolley. It was completely fine. I carried on walking, chatting with Stewie, dad jokes and all that sort of stuff. Turned around, I think I walked 2 feet. And then the next minute I felt a pain go literally zip, all the way up my back. And that was it. I was like, ugh, made a noise like a bloody zombie. And then that was it. My back literally went on me. I nearly fell to the floor, but then Mrs. was like, "Can you help me with pulling the tent pegs out and trying to help Stewie?" And I could not help him. I struggled really, really bad, and I was like, "Oh, this is killing me." And then we managed to get a lift back, and I've just been walking dodgy ever since. And then we got back the Monday afternoon, and then by the evening I said to her, "I tell you what, you know what," I said, "I'm aching and whatnot." And we checked how much the Uber was to get back, because she said, "I'll pay for an Uber because I'm not letting you get on the train," which I was like, I fully appreciate that, and she looked out for me. So, you know, having a partner that looks out for you like that, I'm one lucky man. I'm very lucky that I've got somebody that will look out for me and all that sort of stuff. Is absolutely awesome. One of the best people that has ever entered my life. If you know, if you meet somebody like that that does all that sort of stuff and they help you, then, you know, keep them for life, because they're absolutely awesome and I fully appreciate her. But yeah, I just said I'll just stay and I'll go in the morning. Then about 11 I got the taxi back, an Uber back. Guy chewed my ear off. I've been in the sorry to, I don't think anybody would want to hear this, but I've been spewing up and God knows what. I don't know if it's COVID, because that one year I had this when I got back and I found out it was COVID, so I haven't done a test yet, but hopefully it's nothing. Hopefully I'm alright, but yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. So I'm going to be doing a video on my Bloodstock open air merch haul. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it tonight and then I'll get it posted, or will it be done on the weekend, because I am absolutely aching. I'm knackered and recovering, and I've got to see how I feel tomorrow about work. I may phone up work, but if I'm okay in the morning, sort of okay, I'm just going to go in and just get through the day, because I know I've got the weekend coming up, because it's Wednesday tomorrow and I've only got 2 more days and I've got the full weekend to relax. So I hope you all enjoyed this Bloodstock festival, my memories of my festival. As I said, if you check the YouTube shorts at some point, I'm going to be posting up videos of, I'm going to be sorting them all out of these short videos, because like a minute or something of bands and their sets, just to see what they sound like. And there was awesome bands at Bloodstock. But yeah, I'm done in. I'm going to go and chill out now and relax. The only thing I've unpacked is my merch haul, which I've taken photos and put them on my Facebook, but I'm going to be doing a video on that if you want to see them. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you're new to this channel, if you would like to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, all of that sort of epic stuff, because as I said, it's many unboxing videos. I do a show off my latest haul, I do give reviews, album reviews, talk about the bands I love, show off my collection, all of that epic stuff. So I hope you all enjoyed this, and I'll catch you in the next video. So Viking Wizard or Power Symphonic signing off. Have yourself a good one, and see you later.